Good morning, everybody. So we're new year, new start, new pump, new early morning videos. I'm going to part of my new routine. That's right. New Year's resolutions kicked in. I'm going to work out in the morning, if you can imagine that. Other than that, let's have a look at Bitcoin, and then I'm just going to give you a few nuggets of wisdom because nothing's really changed over the last few days. It's doing exactly the same as I expected it to do. So we've managed to hold above that 20 moving average, 21 exponential moving average. In fact, we did we touch it, or did we come out close enough to touch it? And this is why I was saying we're dealing with such large numbers. Fractions of percents now equate to like hundreds of dollars. So yeah, we stayed above it. That's the main thing. You got the 21 and the 10 and the 7 all crossing over the 20 now. So it's moving back up. The Bollinger Bands are pinching a little bit. We'll be looking for this to try to reclaim $100,000 at this point. And then once you're above there, it should give everybody a bit more free rein to continue. I mean, like I say, it's no different to anything I've said for over a month when I said that we're probably reaching a peak in December. And it'll pull back throughout that time. So, okay, now I think it's time that we'll start moving back up again, the beginning of this year. Here we are on the 6th. Lo and behold, starting to move up a little bit. So, try not to get caught up in the minute-to-minute, hour-to-hour, day-to-day time frames and stuff. There's an analogy that I'm going to give you now for, something that I hope will resonate with you. So this is not so much about today's price action. This is about the entire market, all right? So like I say, I've told you my expectation of this situation today. So you've got your price action expectation for the day. I want to let you know something that will keep you going for the rest of the year. So, as you know, I'm sort of relatively bullish, for this year, but I also believe that this year will mark a peak that is likely to give you a bear market for at least a year after, as we always see after a major peak in the market. Now, it might not happen that way, but it's quite likely that it will. And I hear a lot of people say to me, my sell target on, I don't know, XRP is $20, or my sell target on Solana is $1,000, or I want my portfolio to hit $200,000, or stuff like that by the end of the cycle. That's my target. And I'm like, okay, so, I don't think that's a good way to look at this market if I were you. So I used this analogy on the Patreon and a couple of times for, individual patrons that have like the tutor service. And I think it works, but you know me, I like an analogy. You tell me if you think it's a good one or a bad one. So, and this all depends if you've seen what I'm talking about. So, if you've ever been to an arcade, like a games arcade, occasionally you'll find these machines where it's like a wind room. So it's like a small booth, like a phone booth, and there's loads of ping pong balls in there that drop on you, and then wind blows them around, and you've got to shovel them down this little hole, and you've got like a minute to do it. And when the time runs out, the game's over. Depending on how many balls you've put down the hole, that's your score. That's it really. So you have X amount of time to shovel X amount of balls down this little hole. That's the market for crypto. So what I mean by that is, all those balls are trades. The timer is the cycle, and when the timer in the cycle is over, there is no more. There is nothing else you can do. It's time to leave the market behind and carry on with the rest of your life for about a year. All right, there's no point in trying to do anything else. That's the situation that we're going to find ourselves in this year. So to have price targets or sell orders, that are unrealistic, probably not a good idea. And think more in terms of time. Now, when it comes to time, my expectation is roughly around September. So at the end of the summer is when we start to become on our guard. Think about what the charts look like at the time. So they might not look overheated, and that's fine. We might be able to extend that timer ever so slightly, but the chances are we probably will look overheated. The total 2 fractal that I've been using, for a year now, gives the same sort of idea that we're going to sort of reach a peak around about September-ish time. September, October, November, December. Your guess is as good as mine, but start to think about what we're going to do when you get to that September-ish area. And try not to be greedy. And that's the key here, really. That's the key. No one knows the top, especially if we're going parabolic. It's just more or less impossible to gauge where the top will be on anything. And just think about this. Black swans do happen. But for altcoins, black swans always happen. And the black swan's called Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is the black swan, all right? This is something you may or may not have ever really thought about, but you can carry on pumping for your altcoin. Your altcoin can have the best setup in the world. Everybody's talking about it. It looks amazing. It's got every single indicator and signal going for it. But then what the hell happened? It just just dumps like 70% in a day because Bitcoin did, because the market did. So Bitcoin is the black swan. It's very unlikely that your altcoin will ever survive outside of a Bitcoin pullback, consolidation, crash, dump, bear market. So just remember all of this when the time comes, because it's very easy and very tempting to change the goalposts in a parabolic run. And it's very easy to fall into the idea that you're an invincible trader when the parabolic runs come, because everybody makes money because it's so easy. Because you just buy and it just goes up, but one day it will stop. So yeah, there you go. So a few nuggets of wisdom there on a Monday morning. But maybe that's how this YouTube channel is going to go. Pseudo intellectual wisdom on the crypto market. But long story short, it does look good in the short term. But you've known that, I've known that, I've been saying that. That's what it looks like. Long may it continue. Right, hopefully you have a nice day and take it easy.